we talked a little bit to, I believe it was Aror, who said, when you're down one game, you just take it one game at a time. You can't think of the whole series.
Yeah, most definitely, especially on a LAN setting. I think a lot of the LANs that we've played in TSM, formerly COG Red, we've actually dropped the first game in a lot of the sets that we played, and we just got to take it in stride and whatnot and do it a game at a time. So I think this is what Eager's going to be doing right now as they go into picks and bans.
Well, in we go. Eager going to be taking the first pick, first ban position. Cognitive Gaming will be on the other side, and it's Ares banned out right away. So Ares and Hell likely coming back their way as well. No, Circuit again. So they are willing to give up that first pick, Hell.
Interesting.
Which I mean, so this is a situation where I think that Eager is definitely aware that they were a little gun shy in game number one, and all the things that we talked about Eager not doing with Hell is something that the team absolutely can pull off. So maybe the team recognizes that and will just adjust the game plan going forward.
Well, this god was banned in game number one. Janus locked in for Eager. Cognitive Gaming with return picks. You got to think Hell's going to be making her way back in.
I think a couple things that Eager can do is, one, like Janus is a really good pick because it helps your entire team get to the back line. Mm-hmm. So if they do pick the Hell, then it's easier to get onto her and kill her immediately. A couple other things is they can early draft Odin. They can early draft that anti-heal.
Right, no Odin ban this time around.
And if Cognitive does not pick it in the first three bans, Hell that is, I would be surprised if we didn't see the Hell ban. Because they picked it last time, and it's a hard pick to get into your draft in the first three picks, because there's a lot of ways to hurt that, especially if you don't have like all your anti-heal banned. Mm-hmm. I'm actually surprised that Eager banned out the Circuit with Daretocare playing it really well, and it does hurt the Hell. Like if you get a Circuit jumping on a Hell, it's like, what do you do?
Well, I think that's more to set up the Janus first pick, right? Mm. They don't want to give away Circuit +1, and they definitely don't want to give away Janus +1 either. So, especially with Cognitive's proclivity to pick Xbalanque really early. Oh, there's the bug. Okay. So anytime you see the bug drafted, and Snoopy would love your insight on this, but in the past the thoughts have been that he just doesn't bring a lot of team fight to the table, so you have to make that up somewhere. So what are you kind of expecting out of the draft from Eager now?
Yeah, well, they already have the Bellona, which is really nice in the Janus engage. Like you said, Khepri doesn't have a ton of hard engage. He has an AoE root. It's pretty small, but his main CC ability is that Abduct, which only hits one target. And
look at you go knowing ability names.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I actually have Khepri main on my team. Jigs is ranked 10 Khepri.
That's right, yeah.
Yep.
Was like a week after it came out for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, try hard. Freya banned away by Cognitive. Hades banned out by Eager here, and Nuwa was selected for COG as well, so TheBest is going to be piloting the Nuwa most likely here, although there's still a chance that it goes the way of Meerkat in the solo.
Such interesting bans. I mean, especially when considering the situation of game number one. Now, Ratatoskr, god that really only DJ's playing these days.
Yeah.
Well,
most definitely.
I think it's a good draft here, right? Because as we mentioned, Eager is pretty deficient in AoE damage, right? And that's really one of the main things that Ratatoskr gets really hurt by. There's two things, right? One is really long duration, effective single target CC, like Ragnarok, Fenrir's ultimate, or Anubis Wraps and things like that. The other thing is just spread damage. He has a hard time dealing with things like Grasping Hands and Agnis and things like that. But here, they're not going to actually make that up at all on Eager. It's going to be a Slummy Global composition here coming out from them.
Zapman on the Apollo. This is a very classic pick. And
comfort picks.
Yeah, Apollo has come in and out. He sort of got overhanded, adjusted when all the hunters got adjusted. But since then, we've seen Apollo really rise to prominence, and a lot of that comes with the
he wasn't rebuffed. His in-hand power was buffed a little bit.
Exactly.
His base power was brought up a bit.
Yeah, it wasn't really the change in the game. It was sort of the change of the player's mind, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you were still in the hunter role when Apollo really came back. What brought him back?
It was at that point, everybody was using Bluestone, and that was back when it gave % mana. Apollo didn't really need that. Everybody went with the Death Toll because all he was doing to clear waves was using auto attacks, most likely.
Finger guns.
Exactly. Especially when Bluestone fell out of favor with that MP5 nerf. That really brought him back because he doesn't need to use his abilities. He just sits there and throws auto attacks and full heals.
We're taking a look at Eager before, now Cognitive again. They seem pretty cheerful. Eager a little bit more somber there. Cabom, closest to the camera here, having a chuckle.
Cabom's always really just a jovial guy. Cabom reminds me a lot of Chaos mid laner for one of our SPL teams. Just always sort of happy, having a great time, almost regardless of the situation. And from the Xbalanque play last time, getting to play it a second time this time around, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, he seems very comfortable on the god, especially with those early kills that he picked up. It really helped him snowball the lane. It's tough to go against the fetch block, for sure.
No, guys, it's you're looking at Eager now. Papa Lassiz there in front. Daretocare, PBM, Steve hiding somewhere in the background.
Kret looming.
And off camera, Omega. Omega's actually standing just to Kret's right, just behind Lassiz is where he sits.
Oh, really?
The solo laner's the odd men out. It's 4 on the desk and 1 poor solo laner stuck all his lonesome. It's normal, though, right?
Yep.
It's classic Smite.
Just standard stuff, leaving the solo laner by himself.
Hey, game time.
Here we are.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2, set number 1, Eager versus Cognitive Gaming. Let's talk rosters. Omega, Daretocare, Lassiz, PolarBearMike, and Zapman make up an Eager. Cognitive Gaming, it's Meerkat, Pern, TheBest, Aror, and Cabom. And, yeah, first blood, first damage goes the way of Zapman. 50. A 50 damage in hand. The game is already over. F6. Let's go home.
Big momentum swing already. But no, Eager in the enemy jungle. They're going to put a ward, or rather, Eager will put a ward onto Cognitive Gaming's buff. And they hung out just a little bit as if they wanted to sort of force something to happen, but decided against it, I guess. We'll see teams sort of slink back. And then we'll take a look at these teams as they sort of get ready. We'll take a look at Cognitive.
We'll take a look at Demon Machine.
Standing around looking at things. Everybody taking a look at how everything's going on. Don't forget, this is game number 2. Of course, we're in a 3-game set, unlike the SPL. The entire set matters rather than the individual games. So Cognitive did take game number 1, but who knows what 2 and maybe 3 have in store.
I think the Janus is a pretty important part of Eager's overall wins.
Yep.
I think it's always been a good pick for this roster, even when it wasn't Lassiz playing the mid laner. And we saw it pretty successfully used last week, I think, as a max CDR build for Eager. So I'd expect to see that, actually. I'd expect to see Kronos and cooldown boots at a Lassiz.
Yeah, definitely. It really helps it out. Like you said, they've played with it a lot, and they know how to play around it with those portals. They're really, really good with it. One thing, too, that I really like with the Janus pick is when you're trying to single out a target, that portal helps so much. Like, in that portal and the 2 combination, you're getting about 700-800 damage before anyone can do anything. You can't Aegis it. You can beads it, but that's about it.
But do they have, do they have the right lineup to, like, get to the Ratatoskr is a hard god to track down. And it's pretty hard to keep him out of your back line as well. And will basically what is it going to be that Janus is going to be porting into these fights is the question, right? Because you have so much global presence already. And it's got to be bailing out Bellonas and Khepris and things that have overextended more than initiating, as they have plenty of that on their side.
Yeah, definitely. They have the Thor and the Bellona initiate is huge. And one thing that I like about COG's lineup is with the Nuwa, if she gets initiated on, she can just pop those minions.
Away she goes.
Right.
And pop those minions, hit that 3, and then hit that ult button, and you're up in the air until your next set of cooldowns are up.
And looking at the side of Cognitive Gaming, you have a lot of mobility to sort of respond to that. You've got the Athena ultimate, of course, on top of Nuwa. Ratatoskr can get anywhere he wants on the map.
Oh, he got that down quick, though. So he's going to avoid at least the orange buff invade, and they're going to spot out
they're going to fight, though. They're going to
additional aggression. And okay, so it's jungle Athena.
Nope, solo and Athena.
Oh, so okay, gotcha. I was very confused for a moment there. Well, it's the mark of the Vanguard that's a little confusing to me because it seems like such a natural fit for the dual lane where you go up against Khepri that has lots of dot damage versus Bellona, who didn't go blue sun. So there's actually wasted item on the side of Meerkat. A little bit of mind games maybe coming out on the side of Omega there. Because it's completely wasted basically against Bellona.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be a thought that, the blue stone is going to come out, or at least Meerkat thought so, and that really hinders the damage from the blue stone coming out. You're maybe getting 3-4 damage coming in to the player at a time.
Don't forget, on the Athena in the solo lane, you're going to have to sort of, a lot of times we'll see the Athena dash through the wave and throw the shield wall down, minion damage and minion aggro, not anything to shake a stick at. And because of the way Mark of the Vanguard works, it actually helps out a lot against this early minion damage. So could be looking at both, obviously built with the blue stone in mind, but will help against the minion damage in the solo lane.
Big issue here being just kill potential wise. There's very little that Athena can do to force Bellona out of the lane. Whereas Bellona, she has some real kill potential on Athena. If she catches preemptive strike with the ultimate, with that weakening curse as well, with just the creeping curse rank 1, it's entirely possible to see a solo kill here, coming out of young Omega. Well, old Omega, I guess. He's old man Omega.
One thing I do like with the Athena is one of the main clearing abilities, especially with Omega maxing it right now, is the bludgeon, and being able to taunt that out on a little bit. I think it's double the cooldown, but being able to taunt that out at least once when you're playing the wave is a really nice way to maybe gain back lane pressure. But Meerkat's just taking it in stride, sitting on his tower, not being too aggressive, and he's definitely going to be looking to more rotate around the map as opposed to sit there and try to fight his lane.
He'll try to keep the minion wave outside of his tower best he can, but besides that, he's perfectly happy to sit under his tower and farm. As is Cabom, he better be, because once again, Cognitive Gaming has drafted a dual lane lineup that has very little lane pressure.
Yeah, as opposed to the Apollo Khepri, which has very good clear. Geb, not one of the guys you want in your lane, unless you're doing the classic Pain to the Yawn, where you can roll through the wave, and that puts you in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, that can be a tough situation. If you don't make it back into the jungle with that roll, it's you're gonna die.
Eager seems to have control over almost even in the middle lane. The control obviously on the two outer lanes going the way of the blue side, and mid lane a little bit more even, but Janus and Thor have been doing a good job of sharing the camp, so pretty up as far as experience is concerned over there.
You think Meerkat's having fun?
A little bit.
I think all solo laners just love this. I don't know. I couldn't deal with it.
Well, there's no mystical male yet, so I know he's a little bit happy.
The good news is at least Athena's like out of combat idle. She strikes that pose. She's kind of like, yeah, I know, I'm not moving. It's fine. See, check it out. Watch. Ready? Oh, no. Got put back into combat.
No. Here we
go. Oh, Meerkat. Now you got to ruin it for us.
Here we go. Oh,
trying to show off your sweet moves, dude. There we go. There it is.
Yep.
Pose it.
Sobex. I think Sobex is the best, though. He gets down to the ground.
Wiggles.
Yeah, like an alligator. I love it. Probably my favorite. We'll take a look at Eager.
Oh, we're going to take a look at a gank attempt here
side.
from Eager. Thor is up. Meerkat, you did.
Down comes Thor. Stuns galore, and wow, Meerkat gonna barely get out, but not for long. Walking right through a portal. There's a
Okay, all right, Lassiz. All right, Lassiz.
Kill on a Meerkat with the rotation from the Janus. Fire shard land. No real damage.
Man, they would have been so salty if they wouldn't have gotten that first blood. But they did invest a lot of basically everything they have. All of their ultimates were used to get that. And now PBM, he's going to be blocked off in an awkward position by his own Thor. Oh, Daretocare having his way. Pernicus. Here comes the Athena back in, doing a lot of damage. Lassiz, the knock up there plus the taunt may be enough. Yeah, it will be indeed. So it's a 2-kill return from Cognitive Gaming. Both of those going to the side of the best. And that's a great start there for the mid laner of Cognitive Gaming now. Janus does get credited for the first blood, but will lose quite a bit of farm time now as Newell will make her way back to the lane. Also enjoying 2 kills of her own. It'll be interesting to see what he goes for.
This is a really, really good play by Lass. If you don't notice, there is a full minion wave under the tower for Cabom. So, and he gets the purple buff. So Cabom lost out on a full wave and the purple buff, whereas Xbalanque doesn't have a hard secure. He has like damage over time abilities and whatnot. Whereas the Apollo 1, at level 4, it does about 200 damage. So there's no way that Zap should drop that, and that was just a really good play. I think the best way, Cabom should probably just, if nobody's going to rotate, he just needs to give up that purple and get that farm under tower.
Yeah, players really, without Hog in the game, players are really more aware. I mean, it was definitely always there, but you have to be aware of just how much damage your abilities are going to do to.
So post-Hog, Soupy, talk us a little bit about, I mean, do you like the game less, more? I mean, it didn't affect you so much as a hunter.
Yeah, it didn't affect me too much, but I do like the game more. I just like it because my support didn't have to buy Hog every game. I don't know. I felt bad for them, you know?
Yeah, you have to have this one item that. Well, you know, I think probably the largest shift that you've seen is that the Guardians are no longer compulsory to take an objective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's nice to have, and you definitely want to have, you know, a team fight capability as well as a tank to deal with the objective, but it's not that 30% execute that's really insurmountable by abilities.
I mean, we used to see a large change. We see a large change in the sort of the thought process of these team fights. Before, mid-game, everybody focused the tank, despite it being a dumb idea, because now the Hog's gone, we get the gold fear. It doesn't matter if 4 people are very different now. That window's smaller, right? Yeah,
most definitely. And pretty much any time there's the chance to steal, whether whoever's up, it doesn't really matter. You can go in there and get a Xbalanque bounce Bola and take that.
Got that 20 damage.
Yeah.
We've seen Geb basics steal the gold fury, so anything can really happen in this Hogless world.
It's tank boots for PBM.
Interesting.
There's a lot of CC on the side of Cognitive Gaming.
Khepri doesn't have a ton of mobility. He has that dash, but it can be blocked. And if he has already used that to engage, then he's in a tough position, especially with the new log and Geb par CC. Along with the taunt, like that CCR is really, really nice for him.
Zapman by himself in the dual lane. Geb has rejoined with Cabom, but
that's how Zap wants it. He'll 1v2 for all the farm. Whereas
make another play on a Meerkat here. Looks like it'll be successful again. And yeah, indeed it will. It's just a tremendous amount of CC. And really, one of the things that we were talking about factoring in right there, right? You would, generally speaking, not see Guardians rotate this far away from the Gold Fury in a meta in which there was a requirement for them to be at the objectives. So opening up the map a little bit more. Not in addition to the ward radius going down a bit. It makes ganking, makes laning a little bit more volatile.
Zapman's going to ult in on left.
Oh, okay.
Bomb low mana. He's going to be able to maybe close the distance.
This should be a kill.
Ooh.
One more. Can't find it.
Yeah, that
He had a
like
very
I said,
low
I mean, I
mana
think that honestly that was a very, very small mechanical misplay to Zapman. He could have animation canceled his first attack into that dash to close distance.
Yep.
And maybe we caught it just a little bit late and he missed that first shot, but that was the difference between the gank or not. But he does still force his laner out of the lane. We'll get a good bit of free farm as well.
Force the lane out, force the Athena over all the way over to left lane with that ultimate. She's going to have to run back. One thing I like that Eager's doing is they're focusing the tank solo, which you don't see too often, but with it being the Athena, instead of focusing the mid of the dual lane where she can get there instantly, they're putting her in a spot where she can't get away or she can't be helped by her teammate as opposed to helping the team out.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of, wouldn't be too far of a stretch to say, a bit of a misdraft maybe from Cognitive Gaming here. It was pretty certain that he was going to lose the lane with the Mark of the Vanguard go up against not the Bluestone. It's kind of a wasted starter item. He has a little bit of resiliency and the ability to tank the wave outside the tower, but it's not something that's really necessary against Bellona. Her clear is not that great before Shield Wall is able to clear the wave as well. And overall, right, Athena's real viability outside of her base HP and armor is preemptive strike, and they drafted her into the Thor. And the Thor wall basically stops that ability dead in its tracks. So maybe to prefer to see a different solo laner here, but you don't really pick Athena for the laning phase, right? Athena's a team fighter, so we'll see how this transitions once the lanes break. But it is, for now, a 2-level advantage for Omega, who's playing probably the best at anyone on Eager at the moment. Game 1, he was the closest to the mark. His Raw had more impact, I would say, than most of the other guys. And here, again, he's going to be leading most players here in farm. His net worth is a bit behind Lassiz, but his XP, you can be sure, is quite high. But actually leading all players, it's Zapman, which is a little bit surprising considering there's no kills on his side.
Just been farming in that lane for the pretty much entirety of the game.
Well, yeah, one thing, too, is with PolarBearMike rotating all the way over to solo lane, he's getting that free farm the entire game, whereas Aror has been bouncing back between the mid lane and the dual lane.
Yeah, I mean, the two comparable gold per minutes were Zapman and the solo lane. You essentially have two solo lanes here for Eager.
And you know, this is what Eager, I think, needs to win. They need Zapman to win his lane. Like, if he loses his lane versus Cabom, it's unlikely they win the game, I'd say. He's such a dominant player. He can have such an impact on the game. But the Medusa just didn't have it. I mean, the Medusa just wasn't there, I would say. It was definitely a lackluster performance there, and he got blown up a couple times. But this time, Eager has the map pressure to free up the space for Zapman and let him have that 1v1. But Cabom is holding his own fairly well here. I mean, Transcendence is done. He didn't die in the lane before he got it built up. He does have that pretty large level disadvantage. Best, that's on, really, Nuwa can handle that pretty well. You have to have basically a full CC chain on the Nuwa because once you start channeling the ultimate, you can't lock her down anymore. Yeah.
But Eager's happy with that. They got a Xbalanque and a new ult out of that for just, I believe, maybe a blink from the Khepri. That's about it.
They'll use the Athena ultimate as well to force that man out of the lane. He'll ult back to tower. He can probably clear 1 or 2 more if he wants to. But he'll fall back for free as the waves have not yet met. He'll only lose out about half a wave of experience.
It's tough, though, for Meerkat because with those ults coming out, especially all the way over to the dual lane, he has to run all the way back to his solo lane. And he's already behind, so he's losing out on a lot of farm. You're going to see Omega get even farther ahead.
Ratatoskr been pretty quiet this game. Pern focusing a bit more on farm than he is. Compared to the Guan Yu that we saw. Gold Fury, team starting to posture up here like they want to take a fight. PolarBearMike in position for the snatch if he wants it. Doesn't look like he's going to try for the fluff just yet. He's going to try to run away out of this one. Doesn't want to use his dash to disengage. Pernicus is going to take up onto Eager still. We're going to have the initiation coming in. COG in a bit of trouble as the initiation comes in from Eager. But now with the Ratatoskr down and PolarBearMike forces the ultimate on himself, this is turning into a very good fight for the boys in red and black. But it's Lassiz's portal that will save PBM. And that's exactly what we were talking about earlier on in this game. Looks like COG wants them now to take the fight to the Gold Fury and force Eager into a bad position.
Omega actually does his classic move and backs teleporting to the mid tower to help his teammate out. If he didn't do that, I think they would have been able, or Cognitive would have been able to take the Gold Fury with Janus and Khepri backing as well.
Right.
But with the counter ward, they're actually just going to give up all vision and maybe the Gold Fury just to Eager.
Well, Ratatoskr is going to go sniff it out, but he finds himself in a pretty awkward position here.
He does have the mobility with the dashes, but the Gold Fury is already dead. Now djPernicus drops the acorns, but decides to go to the back line where he'll find Omega Eager's solo laner all by himself, but now here comes the rest of Eager, slamming down on djPernicus for the 3rd kill on Eager's side.
Meerkat's going to try to ult out of this one. That's not going to be in time, and away you go. 2 kills going the way of Eager there.
Big
and the
swing.
Gold Fury. Yeah, that should be a pretty substantial swing. About 4,000 gold going back their way now. Frostbound Hammer as well, done on Omega, so all the resiliency in the world. And the ability to get in the face of Cabom now with that attack speed slow.
Eager looking very different in game number 2 than the first game. I mean, game 1, it was we called them timid. You know, we called them a little bit gun shy, afraid to go in. Maybe afraid's a strong word, but we just weren't seeing it. Game number 2.
Game 1 was a little arcade.
Game number 2, we're seeing, yes, go directly for the Gold Fury.
Yeah.
Do not pass go, collect $200. They're trying to collect, actually, what is it, 20,000?
20 Gs this prize, a little over 20 Gs for this tournament.
You can buy a whole lot of hot dogs with that.
Oh, man. Let's talk about the hot dogs again. It really does come down to the casing.
I mean, the casing is important, but what do you put on top?
It's the bite, right? Well, it depends, right? I'm not a fancy hot dog guy.
Okay.
I'm like ketchup, maybe some relish, maybe some mustard here or there. That's about it. That's about as far as I go. Onions, I'm down with.
Yeah,
I
you
like
gotta do
some
the onions and sauce. The onions and sauce. That's the quintessential.
But I'm not like I would say I don't prefer the chili cheese dog.
Roasted green bell peppers with some bolognese sauce. I don't know. Crazy.
Bolognese sauce on a hot dog?
Bolognese.
Why not, man?
I mean, well,
No, I'm just throwing out
Some
crazy
Skyline
ideas.
chili, maybe?
I mean, it makes sense, right? Bolognese is the meat sauce. I can get behind it.
I'd rather just have chili, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
What about chili dog?
I like the chili dog okay.
Sonic
I
is
respect
chili
the chili dog.
Nah, you know the Sonic footlong chili dog is the worst thing on the planet to eat?
No, I'm talking about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh.
He enjoyed chili dogs in the TV show.
Did he?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Is that why the restaurant Sonic cherries chili cheese dog, you think?
I hope so.
But yeah, no, fun fact. That is the worst thing on the planet that you can eat.
Really?
Footlong chili cheese dog from Sonic. It's like 1,700 calories or something.
Hey, you want to go to Sonic after this?
It's really good.
It sounds abysmal.
It's really good. It's like that followed by eclairs. Like French eclairs, like a large French eclair is like also like 1,700
I'm
calories.
not a dessert guy. I will take you up on that big hot dog.
Dude, that big hot dog is serious.
Not too much going on right now.
Oh, okay. Someone's got to be professional. Should be the pro player, I guess.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we're 14 minutes in and Eager in a very
You
different
gonna steal his
game than
thunder
game
like
one.
that? He
All
was
right.
doing it. Go for it,
All right,
Snoopy.
you
Let's
know
hear
what?
it, dude.
Recap the game,
Oh
Stu.
goodness. Okay, we got a good lead coming up from Eager. They're posturing around, just clearing the buffs and whatnot. They're going to be looking for probably one of the tier 1 towers. I would say the solo lane because they've got a lot of pressure with Omega being up 3 levels at the moment. And they just have that global capability to get around the map. They can just sit in mid lane all they want, maybe force DJ over or maybe even Geb over and then just get over to the right
What's going
lane.
to happen? Are we going to see the Ankile?
I don't know.
No. Panthers now.
Tell me the score, Snoop.
4-2.
4-2.
I got it.
On the desk, it's I'm Bart. There's Tom as well, F. Dot, and Snoop. Old Snoopy Man,
Hey, that's
a.k.a. Snoopy Man.
Yeah.
Evan Jones,
Evan Stevie Man Jones.
TSM. Fun fact, I was once Snoopy Man in a video
Yeah, you were.
because he didn't show up in time.
I remember that. It was a good video.
I was sick, man.
Because you were, yeah, So was Barracuda.
You guys couldn't
Air
see the air quotes that Snoopy just put up on his on screen.
Thor in position here. He's going to dunk in. Meerkat in a bit of trouble. Gep Shield does come out to cleanse that. And it looks like COG is going to try to fight this one under the tower. For now, Darecare's chased out. Omega as well. PBM going to try to pull somebody out, but that's maybe too little too late. The Globals are starting to come out. Pernicus is going to make his way in, but here comes Lassiz as well. Not going to get the shotgun off just yet. Here does go through. Auror's going to go through the portal. The Athena ultimate's going to be used as well to re-engage, but Cognitive maybe trying to force something here now. As Eager's a bit overextended. Lassiz, yes, we'll find the long portal.
Beautiful portal.
That's a dirty portal.
Yeah.
That is a Janus expertise portal right there. Understanding the exact geometry of how that works. Fantastic counter initiation by Cognitive Gaming to protect not just the tower, but their team. And because of that, they're getting a little aggressive. DJ in the jungle going to force Omega to look at him. And now the rest of COG trying to make a stance.
One of the ultimate here, she doesn't, but they'll still pick up her. I mean, there's just no HP pull on the rat there, and he uses dash to farm to kill the camp. He was pretty much dead regardless, unless he got bailed out by the team. You know, but overall here, I think the trend of this game, one of the things that I'm, a little bit, I think one of the things that's going wrong for Cognitive here is I just don't think Aror should play these defensive guardians.
I completely agree. I mean, coming from an outside standpoint, Aror just works so well on these aggressive damage-dealing gods. I mean, we had him in the post-game interview for week number 5, I believe, in the SPL, and he said, I believe damage is a source of peel, and he's totally right. And I like to see him on those types of gods.
Well, you see him make the play, right? His instincts are more like that aggressive play, right? He made that rotation all the way to the solo lane with the Athena, and they found Bellona underneath their tower, and it was like, oh wait, I don't actually do anything. Like
he got the shield.
They taunted her, and then they knocked her up, and then he shielded a stun, and then it was like, oh wait, I'm not Ares.
Right.
Like, what do I do?
And I think that's the point is that he got the clutch shield to get
He
rid
plays
of the
it, but
stun.
just fine.
He played it well, but he doesn't have the tools that.
It is the Anquile. We did it, boys.
Oh wow, interesting.
Can we mouse over that item? Oh, look at him go.
This is a
20
great
physical power, 40 magical protection, 15% reduction, and you build health.
Wait, really?
And
Yes.
yeah, this item was reworked, Snoopy.
I don't know this stuff. I'm a mid laner.
Yeah, so basically this item, it's always had the same stats on it. They've just been shifted around. Instead of now building up the cooldown reduction, you get that flat out. And it's less of a power-based item and more of a protection-based item now as you build HP as you lane. So a lot of synergy on Bellona.
It feels better with the cooldown reduction flat out. You used to get about 0.4 per stack. It was very awkward. Aror poking his head on the left-hand side.
The ultimate used there. Pernicus is going to go up with the Athena ultimate as well. They're going to try to crash down to the back line, and they are going to do so successfully, but Lassiz is already bailed out. They already killed Daretocare, though. He's unable to make it back out. Omega in a bit of trouble. Eagles rally.
Great
Here it
start.
comes down. They're going to try to fight in this. Cataclysm going to use as well. Can they lock down the wily Bellona or not? In the back line, Pernicus actually finds Zapman as Lassiz is forced to use his ultimate just to try to get anything done and snipe a kill. Not going to happen, and Cognitive will take the Gold Fury. Lassiz not going to attempt this one. And, yeah, that's a great swing there for Cog. They're going to put themselves right back in contention of this game. And with that, it's 5-5 in 18 minutes. And Gold Fury.
Cognitive just forced that.
djPernicus just won that fight.
From that looked like Cognitive just said, you know what, guys? I want to fight now. Let's do it. Realistically, what was the window that opened up that fight? Because it just looked like they
There
decided
wasn't
to
much.
go in.
It looks like Eager gave them the window.
No, I
pretty
think what they saw was that it was Khepri and Bellona and Janus.
Yes.
Were playing forward really far to try to basically find a pick, and they realized that they had the Athena ultimate channeling on Ratatoskr, and as Pernicus' call to dive to the back line there.
Yes.
He would have gone there anyway, but they just got so lucky in that they found Thor and Apollo and locked them both down really, really quickly and got those kills.
I always have to wonder with the Omega up and down ult, the solo laner ult, as I like to call it, with the tiers and the Bellonas and whatnot, doing that. If he'd just used that to maybe jump away, jump over that red buff wall, maybe he could have gotten out. And I think the Gold Fury still would have went down, but that's definitely the classic Divios. We yell at him to go away, and he does not. He will fight to the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth saying Omega did get a couple of stuns to sort of extend it. Unfortunately for Eager, not able to extend it as much as they might have wanted. And with that Gold Fury, that's going to swing around what was once a 5,000, 4,000 gold lead. Now very, very small, just about 1,000 to 2,000. And this is very much more a game than it was before.
Also, yeah, it's worth mentioning. Let's go ahead and recap here a little bit, guys. We're approaching 20 minutes. It's all squared at 5-5. Cognitive does have a one-game advantage here, and this is a best of 3. So if Cognitive wins this, the set will be over, and Eager will be eliminated. It is a single elimination tournament bracket here. We'll run the round of 6 and round of 4 today, and then move into the finals tomorrow.
Aggression on the right-hand side of the map. Meerkat will be a little bit problematic, but Omega
fought 4 there.
yeah.
I'm not sure if he knew they were there with the Xbalanque.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I think
But Omega.
serendipity. Hey, so if you're wondering how good the Bluestone pendant is, and if you're still wondering, I don't know what you've been paying attention to, but it's been selected as the 4th item for Ratatoskr.
And it was the 3rd item for Guan Yu.
Yeah.
We see this a lot. Not the High Rock build. This is what djPernicus has been doing a lot with this Bluestone. It just provides extra damage. It's free damage and it's only 800 gold. It really fits in that what I call a bridge item. In that when you're making your way to the mid game and you want something anyway, the Bluestone really works out on these ability-based gods.
Omega has had just 3 stacks, now 5 stacks. Has had the Anquile for a few minutes now and just hasn't been able to farm.
And this tower has been down for a number of minutes. Left side, Zapman still by himself. He's going to ult and get out of trouble, no problem. But as you said, Snoopy, I mean, this is really what Zap wants to do. He wants to 1v2 in this lane.
Yeah, most definitely. He wants to force people over, give his team the ability to maybe hard engage on the solo lane or the mid lane, and especially with Apollo, you have so many ways of getting away that you're not in too much trouble.
He is the escape artist. Athena will go back to base. Keep an eye on that ultimate, though. She can be anywhere at any point in time when that ultimate is up. Right now, Meerkat does have it down, so it's not available. Won't be able to pop up just yet, but that's really... Athena can be very sort of surprising or deceptive in the sense that she's back at base, but once that diamond turns blue, she can be anywhere on the map by just teleporting to the god, and that can really change a team fight in the middle of everything.
Looks like it's going to be the Mail of Renewal build-up for Thor. It's becoming more and more popular for this god. Cooldown reduction, a lot of protection, and of course, probably, it's definitely top 5 current item passives in the game right now, what Mail of Renewal is providing, with the addition of towers and the bonus percentage there. So any structure gives you a big chunk of your HP back, and mana for that point.
Yep. Yeah, if you get a D-side, you get 100% of your health back. And, 50% of your mana? Something like that?
Wow.
Pretty crazy.
I mean, last game they had a hell to go on you for that. Now they'll just buy Mail of Renewal.
Yeah. It's also a really nice way to just cap off that 40% CDR with a Yoga draft.
Oh, well.
Great, man.
Later, Zap.
Zapman with a very strong.
That's so frustrating.
Yeah. The worst is when you're like a support and you blink in, then
You get
really
mezzed.
mezzed.
Yeah, you get instant mezzed.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, yep. Yes, it is. That does suck. I agree.
It's like getting mustard on a hot dog.
You don't like mustard on the hot dog?
Absolutely not.
I love the mustard.
You like the
man.
mustard? Now, see,
like
I got to tell you, mustard is not my favorite condiment. It's pretty low for me in condiments.
Yeah,
It's high
low
for me,
tier.
honestly.
But
No, mustard is like deep.
it is like absolutely mandatory for the soft pretzel.
Yes.
Now, the soft pretzel I eat with the mustard all day.
What about the cheese?
I don't like the cheese. The cheese is gross.
Well, I mean, you can't get cheese whiz. You got to get actual good melted cheese.
Hey, what do you mean good melted
Like
cheese?
you get a solid nacho cheese.
Yeah, that comes in a can.
Well, you make sure it doesn't.
We're going to go get nacho cheese that doesn't come in a can. Brandon's house?
You go to the You go to the deli. You melt your own cheese.
I think you got to hang out with Brandon. Wait, are you gonna, is this the craft singles in Flamin' Hot Cheetos bid?
Hey, Flamin' Hots with cheese and a Kiwi Mystic. That's the jam. That is
Get
the
some
jam.
MD 2020 in there too?
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's how you do it on a suburban.
Yeah,
Tuesday
so, yeah.
night.
Tom was telling me about one of his favorite snacks when he was growing up was you take a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos and you put it on a plate and put craft singles on it and put it in the microwave.
Yep.
Well.
You mix that with a good. I mean, you've been drinking the Calypsos, which are basically Mystics.
Yeah.
Far too sugary drinks.
Definitely.
Fantastic stuff.
That's it.
That's how you do it.
Well,
Flamin' Hot's
now they were
cheese.
telling me they used to have something on the menu here at AFK that was a cream cheese bagel with Flamin' Hots.
Oh boy, I would not like that.
I don't know. You say that now.
I mean, I'm thinking about it. How does that bode with you, Snoop?
Not well. The first one either. I don't want to disrespect your childhood, but
You don't like the idea of Flamin' Hots and cheese?
no.
No, it sounds. I mean, here's the thing, right? You microwave like fake food,
Yeah,
like
processed
chips.
cheese.
Like
Yeah.
doesn't it just get really soggy?
Ah, they say crunchy because it's weird.
They don't say crunchy. No way. I don't believe it.
They don't get like soggy.
All right, they get a weird consistency to them.
It's like cereal and milk.
Oh,
It's
gross.
still there.
Do you eat it with a spoon?
No. Just dig in.
Do you eat it with chopsticks? It seems like chopsticks would be the ideal implement for eating that.
Hands, man.
The look of disbelief on my face, that would revolutionize it.
Think about it. You don't get it all over your hands.
I might have to do that.
Now you're back. Now you're back and you're eating the Cheetos again. Well, here we go. Getting eaten is Daretocare by Ratatoskr, but not going to be enough to finish off that kill, although he
Both
does
actives forced
inexplicably
there.
pop beads as well.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little misclick.
Cognitive now has full zone control of this Gold Fury. Eager really had it before, but just a little couple of steps forward, and Cog winds up taking the spacing.
I hear a lot of yelling. Aurora, he's so loud. Pernicus, they're going to use the Athena ultimate there, and now they're going to isolate PolarBearMike as well. He's doing the right thing, fighting back to his team, but they're going to have the port in from Omega. It's going to take Eagle's rally to save him, but it comes out after the taunt, and they'll still have PolarBearMike in position to put the damage out. Can they take the Khepri down? No, he'll ult himself. Pernicus, in the meantime, chases down Zapman with the help of Xbalanque and Geb. Fight continuing here. Meerkat, the one in some trouble with that Guardian base HP. Looking okay for now. Best looking for a way out of this fight on the new wall. The Thor wall is okay. It locks off the rest of COG, but it puts Lassiz into a strange position, and they'll give up Omega there as well. Trying to move forward. Beads used for cooldowns. Going to need some hits under Aurora. The shield is there. Lassiz going to now try to kite away. He's looking for the big play. Can they find a way to keep Aurora alive? They can indeed. The rollout's going to be successful. And now the turnaround attempt is going to come. Pernicus will find the kill on the Daretocare. And now it's Lassiz set their eyes to, although it's very hard to chase down the Janus. But I think the big play opportunity there from Lassiz ends up isolating one of his players, and down will fall Daretocare there. The split unsuccessful for Eager, and they don't get the better of that trade.
Khepri's able to do so much in these team fights, and Cognitive Gaming is doing everything that they can to make sure that doesn't actually come to fruition. I mean, just isolating this character by himself and surrounding him and forcing the ultimate to be used on himself and the abduct to be used defensively is really seeming to swing these fights.
Yeah, it's not a big deal when you have to like sit by Khepri and not do damage to him for 5 seconds, but when it's a I don't know, an Apollo or a Janus or something. Like, they're running around doing, with extra damage on top of that. It's pretty crazy. So it's really good by COG by forcing that Khepri ult out at the beginning of the fight on himself. And whether he dies or not, they don't really care.
If you're wondering what all the screaming is about, it's Aror.
Yeah.
That's what Aror sounds
It's Aror
like.
the chunk.
You may think that's what Lassiz sounds like, but that's only like when he's streaming casuals. Lassiz is a pretty quiet LAN player.
Right.
Overall. Eager a pretty quiet team overall. Omega probably the most vocal player on that side.
Omega recently acquired on this squad. Used to be Cloud9, definitely.
But Aurora is basically like Serena Williams of Smite. I think he yells for the intimidation factor more than anything.
Daretocare can get excited.
Daretocare gets turned, yeah.
I've seen Daretocare turn up, but you're definitely right. I think with the 10 players here,
Weekend and Aurora is probably the loudest two players.
They scream the scream.
And
whereas,
Maniac.
Like, Maniac screams at somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maniac will stand up and scream at Divios.
Yeah, we've seen that go back and forth
Yeah.
with your team specifically. Last time around, this is one of my favorite LAN stories. Maniac was actually just yelling at Divios, what now, etc. And Divios was not doing too hot. And then later on, whether it was the second game or later on in that game, it's sort of irrelevant, but Divios gave it right back to him and killed him on the tower. And Divios, I mean...
What did he say? He popped off. He said something like "get wrecked, nerd" or something.
Yeah,
I mean, it was.
He said the exact same thing, whatever it was, verbatim, that Maniac said to him earlier.
Oh yeah, was it? Did he say Roma Invicta? Is that what it was?
That was separate.
That's
Divios
when he killed Allied.
was role playing.
Oh, he role plays all the time.
Man.
You know those lines that you get when you get into a game?
Yeah.
It's like, don't worry, death, my friends, is only the beginning. It's like he just role plays as soon as he gets in the game. He just loves it. He loves his warriors.
The jubilation of youth.
I love to see the inside of the professional players, right? You know, Eager very sort of.
That sounded like you're a murderer.
No, the insight,
Oh.
not the inside.
Yeah, I was like, you want to see the
I'm not
insides of the
Dexter.
professional player? This is very weird. That's either like horrific or sexual.
You get a squad like Eager very, very focused right now. PolarBearMike being focused
Out of
one
position,
more
Mike.
time. Yeah,
There's-
DJ.
yeah,
in the sky.
DJ's there as well. He's
Trying
going to be able
hold
to.
it. Oh.
Taunt.
Wait. Body block, kill.
Honestly,
Not quite.
Bye-bye, Mike.
Oh,
Yeah.
Meerkat's here, but he's controlled.
Hey, no, why not a double kill?
yeah. Nuado's phenomenal against Khepri because you wait. You don't really care. He's not going to gain any HP back as long as you don't kill him. When he's down at 100 HP, then Nual finishes him off.
Yeah, good
Omega
point.
in some trouble.
I'm looking for some bludgeon away. We haven't talked about. Oh, Aurora popping off. Here it comes, boys.
Aurora's headset just fell off. He just screamed so loud,
DQ.
Omega, get out.
Oh, yeah, and that's a play that he's made here. Mezzed out under tower.
No, he's yelling at him to go away.
Yeah, get out of here. Leave me alone. I'm the rock. Oh, here we
here
go.
it is.
Zapman. They're going to force a dash here.
Ooh, nice
Will it be the
double.
counter initiation into the taunt? They're going to find two. Omega's dead. No, Omega not dead.
Get out of here, Omega.
Okay, Meerkat not willing to take that tower up. I believe he did go Void Stone over any big physical mitigation items, so
Just
a
looking
little
for
bit
the tier
difficult.
2. Yeah, especially with the Nual minions, they can, as long as there's nobody there, they can force down any tower they damn well please.
I think that we should give credit where credit's due here. djPernicus is carrying.
Oh,
this
yeah.
game.
Killing.
5-2-3
Really,
as
really
the
hard.
very nerfed rat.
And so this is, I absolutely love this build coming out of djPernicus. We talked a lot about the Bluestone and what that does, but so Golden Bow. Golden Bow is theoretically one of the highest DPS items in the game. The problem is nobody groups up to actually get cleaved. Well, due to the nature of what Ratatoskr does by spreading out all these acorns and hitting everybody with these dash on hit effects, you're guaranteeing the cleave, which means you can actually juice out all of the high damage potential of this item. So what doesn't really work because of the nature of team fights for some single target characters, Ratatoskr is able to use it and absolutely kill it with it.
Not to mention Opal Acorn does shut out the lightning bolts when you dash through targets that can crit and deal any on-hit effects that you may have.
Yeah, exactly.
So in this case, he'll get the bonus pen out of Titan's Bane. That doesn't apply to the targets, but the Deathbringer and Golden Bow crits will go through. So now a even bigger damage dealing god. And yeah, I mean, Pern's real success so far this game has been killing Zapman multiple times at the end of team fights. And Zapman has had basically no impact on a team fight yet, nor has there been very much split push pressure out of the Hunter on Eager.
Can you say that one 3 times fast?
Split push pressure on the Hunter of Eager.
No, just the first 3 words. Split push pressure, split push pressure, split push pressure.
I don't need to.
I almost got it.
You took care of that for me.
Snoopy, try it.
Yes.
Well handled.
Good
Thank
old
you.
Snoop.
Unique New York.
Well handled.
Toy boat.
Red, yellow. Oh wait, red leather, yellow leather. I can't do it.
Red leather.
Red leather, yellow leather.
I've never even heard
Really?
that one.
Red leather, yellow leather.
I've heard the toy boat.
Why is red leather, yellow leather hard to say?
I don't know. Unique New York. Apparently
Unique
is
New
a hard
York.
one too.
Well, that's like warm-ups.
Yeah.
Unique New York. Unique New York.
Like Betty Botta, right? Yeah, those are just
Betty butter, bitter butter.
to make her bitter, better, better.
Yeah.
Those are just classic diction warm-ups. You ever do theater? Where'd that come from, Snoopy?
No, I didn't do any of that stuff. I don't know.
You just got diction warm-ups to the
No.
bank?
Yeah.
Cognitive looking like they want to take it to the bank. Eager on the right side. They've got numbers. Cognitive plays it a little coy. Doesn't go in quite yet. Mega fighting on these minions here. Lassiz.
This is a long game.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
15 minutes in, this was Eager's game to go home and take it. And I mean, if we look at the graphs here in this lull, you can actually see sort of the shape of the game. See, 15 minutes in, this was clearly, I mean, over 4,000 gold. This was easy peasy. But I mean, that goes to, you were talking about leads being very dependent on the compositions.
Yeah.
A little bit of a fight breaking out over here.
Back and forth.
Much ado
Disengage,
about nothing,
engage.
honestly.
A little poke, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the new one minions just, you know.
That blink is different, though.
Okay, yeah. Omega's going to go for the Omega,
Yep. The classic.
the classic Omega. But now he's in an awkward position because the fight's not breaking out, and it's like, do I run back? Do
just
I
runs.
port? Yeah, he just runs in if there's not going to be the fight.
Anything happens, he
he can
pours in.
port at the last moment.
I think they saw that ward place, and Zapman was trying to hit it to prevent Omega from porting in there. Fire Giant started up. The fight's going to be forced by Cognitive
Okay.
here. PolarBearMike, the only one in position to contest
Halfway
it.
down.
Ratatoskr.
Fire Giant's halfway dead.
Turn, he's going to find himself in an awkward position. Not dead just yet. Deb Shield up into the tree he goes, and Ratatoskr out of the fight for now. Fire Giant has been leashed. Omega moving forward. No damage coming out on the Bellona just yet, and Cognitive has been pushed off the mark.
Yep. They have to disengage with DJ taking that burst damage instantly, forcing ults out. Actually,
There's in the
Daretocare
air.
gonna
He's
look
looking for
that.
Pern.
If he sees Pern, he might be able to get it. Goes back into on the best.
Yeah, they'll try to lock down the mages there in the choke. Aurora is going to prevent that fairly well with a nice Cataclysm. They'll force Thor out of the fight as well. And Eager now, they've lost maybe too much HP to really effectively Fire Giant.
I don't really think there was a winner in that fight.
No, I think if they just stuck around the Fire Giant instead of going for that second engage, then they could have, with DJ backing, they could have definitely forced something. Maybe forced Cognitive into the fight rather than forcing the fight to
Athena
them.
ultimate coming in on top of the Geb. Meerkat now blinking forward. They'll find Zapman for now. Does he have the dash available? Doesn't look like he does. It's 8 more seconds till he can dash. Can they run this one down?
Great point.
Now down to 5 seconds. It looks like Zapman is going to make it out of here A-OK for now. Omega's going to chase off the rest of Cognitive. Put out a bit of damage as well to prevent them from having a good contest at the Fire Giant either.
Thank you, Lassiz. Lassiz just saved that man's life.
Pern! Bye-bye.
Pern eliminates Lassiz.
Woo! He blinked forward out of the way of the initiation and destroyed the Janus. Lassiz and Eager not prepared for that hot of a play.
There's ult up again, looking for more.
It's Aurora
Finds
and Pern in
Aurora,
the choke.
just barely misses Pernicus, and Pernicus is going to make him pay. Takes out half of his HP with a single
goodness.
death.
Oh, wow, I thought he killed that man.
Falls to the best. And some more trouble on the right side. Aurora by himself. A couple of members of Eager, but they want to get out. So does Omega. Cabom and DJ giving chase. There's a slow. A couple of basics, and Omega will be fine.
Khepri now the target. Yeah, they'll take Khepri down easily.
Oh, yeah.
That's Fire Giant. Guaranteed for Cognitive Gaming, as it's a 5-2 currently. Daretocare cannot really contest this. Omega's at the base. He's going to pour it in and try to do something. But it's going to be really tough. As Tom's pointing out here, Nuwa 6-1-3. Tremendous amount of farm. Ratatoskr, Spear of the Magus, as well as a Soul Reaver. I mean, she puts down the minions. There's no way that you can crash in his Bellona because you will instantly die.
I mean, we talked about djPernicus, but TheBest has. I mean, this is really quietly doing it, right? I mean,
No. Quietly doing it is Cabom. 0-0-8, putting out 21k player damage. I mean, that's really, really impressive.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's like, he's been involved in 8 of 13 kills, nice involvement, and done a ton of damage. Hasn't gotten credit for the kills, which is maybe more on the team than him. Omega.
I like the stun.
Yeah,
It's not going to be enough.
But he'll force Pernicus back,
Yeah.
like, actually this time. But Fire Giant buff will heal him up pretty quickly. It's mana more that's the issue.
I love that aggression. Being able to just, oh, you have an Athena, no problem. I'm going to ult in place. Gold Fury falls, 7,000 gold on the side of Cognitive Gaming. They lead this one 13-7. If they take this one, they head on to face their next opponent on the bracket. If Eager wins this one, well, we'll see a game 3.
We'll go to game number 3.
One thing I've been noticing with the Daretocare, it's not that he doesn't seem comfortable in the Thor. He just plays it a little different than maybe the Answers, the Adaptings, the Garzas.
The good players? Is that what you're getting at?
Maybe.
Is that what you're saying, Snoopy?
But he's ulting and he's doing, if you remember the Pon strat, where he ults in. And
Oh, the Pon Bon, the
yeah.
beads, Aegis,
Yeah,
suicide
Aegis,
ults.
yeah,
In, out.
Exactly. He's been moving Aegising out of the fight after pretty much every single ult in. Whereas you see a Garz, it's like he goes in, goes on target, and then just either hammers past the fight or hammers out or does what he does. But it's tough using both of those actives pretty early in the fight and then trying to get back in with the boatloads of CC that Cognitive has is not fun.
Yeah, I'm a little curious as to why they wouldn't go to Outflong here.
Such a strong choice on Dare.
I mean, that's like his number one. But he's going to find a decent initiation here. Will not port forward to the hammer. Will look to put the damage out onto Meerkat. It looks like they may actually be able to net the Athena kill. No, Meerkat will dash out of that.
Ooh, nice
Nicely done with the hammer there by Daretocare, showing off that he says, I'm a DPSer. What are you talking about? Pernicus, though, speaking of DPS, he's getting the crits. Zapman's going to try to turn and fight here. Lassiz finds his way out. Khepri ultimate expended there as well, and they will get Pern, who's overextended now. PolarBearMike finding that pickup nicely. It looks like that last ultimate nicked somebody as well on the way out there. I think Best took a bit of damage. Oh, boy. Steve. Oh, boy.
He's going
all right,
for it.
dude.
I want to see the new one.
Down on top of the Best,
man.
but he's all
Bye-bye.
by himself. Stunned out just a little bit. This is just a continuation for his team. His team's here. They're ready to fight.
But they don't have a wave yet.
It doesn't matter.
It's
37 minutes in. Khepri will tank this. Zapman will kill it. That's a mid lane tower. Go the way of Eager. This is a very important swing.
Can they force the Phoenix here is the big question, right?
This is a very important swing for Eager. If they can get this Phoenix, a lot has changed about this fight. But PolarBearMike already about 25% HP. Daredecare's back lands on the side.
Daredecare's off the mark there with that ultimate initiation, which I don't think frees up enough room for either of the damage dealers to get the damage onto the Phoenix now. Auror's going to keep Omega in combat for the moment. Best is going to need a double
They
tap.
can definitely chase this out with the Athena ult coming up right now. And Ratatoskr is no slouch himself getting around the map.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be hard to get a damage dealer in position. I mean, they're basically relying on the globals at that point to do it. New ultimate was used in that fight as well, so not going to have it. Ratatoskr makes his way back to the playing field, however.
So Omega's picked up the Anchile and also a Runic Shield. Two items that we don't see a lot of here. The Runic Shield is going to give him some magical protection, as you can see, physical power, but most importantly, the magical power aura and the attack speed aura, or the negative auras coming out, which will affect the enemies. So you don't have a lot of basic attackers coming out for that Runic Shield. The attack speeds really matter, but that magical power is going to...
Here we go, fight breaking out over the final tier 2 for Eager. Omega finds himself in a bit of trouble, rooted in place, going to eat quite a bit of damage as well. Daretocare comes crashing in, but it's not an effective initiation. They don't get much pressure out of this, and the backline is collapsing on him.
Wow.
Omega is down in this fight. This is likely the game as well. They need Omega so much for their initiation. Daretocare, he's forced support out as well, and they have to defend now with the Phoenix. Cognitive with a +1 advantage as well as the Guardian being back in base. Now it's Daretocare. Maybe he's going to fall as well. As you mentioned, it is. The walking Aegis is not going to be enough. You saw him get knocked up, not CC immune while using that, and now it's the 5-3, nearly a minute before it'll be full fighting strength for Eager, and they're relying a lot on Lassiz here to clear the wave, and Zapman has to come up huge in player damage, but it looks like Cognitive, they'll let them off the hook for now and go back and take the next Fire Giant in about 45 seconds.
Cognitive looking very strong here off of what they've been doing, able to turn the game around off of a big, what was once a large Eager lead. And in that last fight specifically, Bart, Omega, he did a great job until he just got exploded by the crits. He was providing spacing, he was getting the stuns. That's what your solo laner, more specifically your Omega solo laner, really wants to do. But just was able to be turned, focused, and melted, and that's really, really one of the issues here.
Yeah, the malice factoring in there from Ratatoskr as well.
Yep.
The now triple crit build coming out with a tremendous amount of penetration and the Opal Acord. Biggest issue here is that there's really nowhere to go. Like, I mean, he's pretty much maxed out 6-slotted.
Oh, yeah.
He could give up boots for something, but mobility fairly important, and boots are incredibly cost efficient in this game.
Most definitely. That's all you really need, though.
Yeah. I mean, there's
For sure.
He's able to delete the tanky Bellona.
Yeah. If anything was removed, maybe he wants a little more defense.
Sure.
Something. I would go with the Golden Bow. The cleave is very, very nice, but especially now that you have the other crit items online, you're more like single targeting. You're bursting down on Omega that's in front of you, and if you can get the Lassiz, you don't really need the cleave. You just go ham on him.
Right.
Well, what would you build in lieu of that? You know, if PBM caught out of his dash here, dangerous situation for the Khepri. The team's gonna have to rally around him to save him. Luckily, they are finding it full strength now as the Fire Giant is back up. Omega going to try to establish a front line as well for the squad.
Gets smoked real quick, loses half his HP to a good crit coming out from Zapman. Crit's not as effective on Aror. Down comes Daretocare to separate the team. Aror is now the Guardian that's isolated, surrounded by the enemy. Cataclysm is good, will provide just enough
Pern trying to stay and fight. He doesn't get the crits. Now he gets the crits on the second dash. So unfortunate.
Omega
For
picks up
Eager
one,
there.
Best picks up another. That's a 2-for-1 at the moment. Cognitive still coming on down with a great mez. One more time from Zapman.
How many times have we seen that Mez from
So
this
many.
game? That's just like the morale killing Mez. But, I mean, Eager getting pretty unlucky there that Pernicus actually does proc all those crits on the second dash. The first one, nothing. The second one got him. It was enough to pick up 2 more targets. And once again, Omega and Daretocare are down for the next fight.
Yeah, that was really good by Aror, actually, with the Geb shield, saving DJ to get that second dash off. He would have been dead instantly without it, and that team fight definitely would have swung in the favor of Eager, I believe. But not much Eager can do to stop the COG Fire Giant. Yep, they're just going to take it.
No one's anywhere.
Yeah, it was basically Apollo Ultimate was their only option there. And that's not really an option.
No.
It pulses damage, it doesn't deal it in bursts, which is really what you want to try to steal an objective. And now making their way across the map is Cognitive. They'll go ahead and clean up the Gold Fury as well, because hey, why not?
Yep. And good thing too, like I mentioned before with the new minions, whenever they really want to take an objective, they can go there. They don't need a wave. It does take a little bit of damage from the new but even if you get close to those minions, you're taking a huge amount of burst along with the CC setting up for Cabom.
Nope. No, big deal here with the Gold Fury. Fans at home are wondering why the team's bothering with 6 items on each character. Sure, it's enough to finish out their builds, and we'll provide a little bit of that. But Eager is trailing by over 10,000 gold, just taking that objective off of the map so Eager can't sneak it later on when Cognitive is looking at some other objectives or whatnot.
Nah, so they get Soul Reaver Geb. Yeah. It was so they get Soul Reaver done on Geb.
Well, you know what?
It's so good.
It's Aror.
Yeah.
So I actually believe that point of reference.
Well, what it is that they're this indicates that Cognitive is feeling themselves here.
Yeah.
They think this is a victory.
Yeah, you just take that off the map so Eager can't even.
6-item Geb, Soul Reaver you are astronomically far ahead, which isn't necessarily the case here. It's less than 10K, but it is Aror, as you mentioned.
Wants to be aggressive. Wants to be able to provide that damage. Lower the kill threshold. Everything that a good aggressive support should strive to be.
It's now a tough situation because the burst coming up between the 2 Soul Reavers, Nuwa applying it globally to a single target Geb as well. If they initiate on the same target, that's a lot of damage coming out, just percentage-based magical damage. So here comes Aror. He'll use his first. You can see he's like holding his first spell. Normally the Gebs would just be kind of spamming out their knockups in any situation like that, but they really want to make sure they can first target. And here it will be onto Omega. They'll proc 1 of the Soul Reavers there. The Janus ultimate's going to be used, but it just tickles really. Ooh, wow. Daretocare almost bursted down.
Completely just gone.
Xbalanque ultimate going to be used as well to take down the right side Phoenix. That's 2 Phoenixes down. Center and right side here. And Eager facing elimination now against Cognitive Gaming. This game very, very long. A ponderously paced game.
2 fights going on right now. Meerkat being chased by Zapman in the mid lane and the rest of the team in the right-hand side. And they're going to turn things around, and they're going to chase Zapman back to the mid lane.
Yeah, really nicely timed ultimate
coming
there.
Out from PolarBearMike.
Also, it looked like there was an interesting interaction there that's probably worth pointing out. It looks like we're going to stall for just a moment. The Khepri ultimate saving Zapman there actually saved him after the Aussie proc, and he had an Aussie proc with about 40% HP, which is not the expected interaction to that item.
Lassiz picks up a kill on a DJ, so good defense coming out from Eager. PolarBearMike caught out in a bad spot, but so is Meerkat, and Meerkat's going to fall down before the support. Eager's taking out 2, Eager's taking out 3, Eager's taking out 4. Only 1 member's alive, and it's Aror. The Soul Reaver can't stop him now.
Are they going to turn around and chase Aror? No.
They shouldn't.
They should not. They need to clear waves. They need to take the remaining towers if they can, and indeed they will. And look at, is Aror going to go try to 34 damage at a time on this Titan?
Here it comes.
Here we go, baby.
Here it comes.
Okay, never mind. Lassiz is like, no.
We've seen this happen with Team Solo Mid before.
Yeah, Lassiz is like, no, and then he's like, oh, please, no. No, never this, please.
The Geb is taking out Lassiz right now with that Soul Reaver.
But now the team yelling at Aror to get back because Phoenix going down in the mid lane here for Eager. Still about 20 more seconds for anyone else. Is Eager to go for blood here? There's a ton of HP on this Titan. 8K, here we go.
They're all in. Ultimates are on the table. Chaos
They're going to
Titan,
go for it. Eager's in.
Chaos Titan is killing out PolarBearMike.
This is a win.
Holy Eager has turned things around, trailing 10,000 gold. They're going to push it to a game 3.
Wow. Wow. I mean, and that's the fragility of the base race there.
A single team fight can swing the game.
And it didn't even take the Janus ultimate, which you would expect it, right? Like, normally in that situation where it's like, oh, yeah, they won the base race, which was, I guess, not really a base race. It was like a Geb versus a team. But, yeah, Janus ultimate not used. It was used maybe suspiciously really early on in that fight, like in the mid lane. Lassiz does like 100 damage to 3 targets. But they still are able to just rush right down the mid lane.
big swing for Team Eager. As we said, this is the best of 3 here.
That's what I'm talking about, dude.
Cognitive Gaming Invitational, Gears of Fate, and what was looking to largely be Cognitive Gaming's game, and in turn series, Eager turns it around.
Well, it was like Eager's early game, and then
Right.
Cognitive won the mid game, and then
the late game as well. Yeah,
and then
and then a single fight.
You know, that's how it goes. I mean, they overextended a little bit. They got caught out. You know, the one thing that we actually I missed it. I don't know if you guys caught it. I think it was just off camera. Was how Pern died to Lassiz there. I'm actually not sure how that happened.
I didn't catch it either
see
myself. No.
It was like beads must have been down and Phoenix damage and an unstable. I mean, something. But like that probably lost the game.
Yeah.
Because after that, they were able to collapse really, really easily on Meerkat, take the Athena out of the fight, and then it was just walk down Xbalanque.
Yeah, realistically, I don't think Aror could have defended the base against 5.
No.
No. He could have delayed for sure, but even so, the only one coming up soon was Meerkat with the Athena, which is just more delay, no real kill potential.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, him basically forcing Janus back was probably the best play.
Yeah.
And it's maybe even like Janus may have not needed to go back even. You know, so yeah, it was just a tough situation. I mean, that's how fast things can change. I mean, when you get games that go this long, right, and the teams have 6 items.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, players
Right. I mean, it's
die.
like it just happens so fast, right? The Titan is not very strong against tremendous amounts of penetration.
Doesn't matter if you're down 15K if your whole team has 6 items, like you said.
Yeah,
Like if you have 6 items, they have 6 items. Doesn't matter XP difference or gold difference or whatnot.
Yeah.
A fight can swing, and especially that lane game, the death timers are really, really long. And with Janus movement speed and all that nonsense, then, they can get to the base really quick.
Threshold is a really good ability.
Yeah.
I heard it's underrated.
Threshold?
Yes.
You know, I got to tell you, I think that ability is, Janus, I think it's probably the primary kind of contributor to Janus being such a high priority pick.
What I will say, jokes aside, I think Threshold is one of those abilities that really separate sort of the top tier players from the casuals. Where once you understand what Threshold actually does to augment it, and you're not just portal unstable vortexing. Once you put Threshold in your kit, I mean that's really the difference between some of the more premier players like we see Lassiz up here and maybe the games at home.
Yeah, I think that more or less that Janus, balance-wise, is in a pretty good state overall for gameplay.
Right.
At the high level, we do see, I think, Threshold overperforming a bit, and I would certainly advocate a nerf to that ability. Well, I would like to see, honestly, I mean, and I would like, let's talk a little bit about it. I mean, I think that ability could sustain not giving any enemy slow at all. It could just be a teammate bonus
huge.
MS.
And
it's a huge swing. I mean, it's like a 70% MS swing if you both hit it.
Yeah, it's also on the ground for like 10 seconds.
It has
max rank.
You know what it reminds me of? It actually reminds me a lot of launch Agni Noxious Fumes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It lasted for like 12 seconds or
something like that.
And if you played Smite back then, the Fire Giant Pit had like one little cave entrance, and so all you do is pick Agni, put Noxious Fumes down, so like no one could enter Fire Giant. Like that was it. Game over. Like what do you do?
Too much zone.
It also did like 7 times the damage. Like it was ticking for like hundreds instead of tens. It was good.
One thing too with the Threshold is one thing I see a lot is it's on the ground in front of you. You don't want to run through it.
You
so you're like, okay, I'm gonna wait. But it's like you can't go around it, so you're like, okay, I'm gonna wait. And at the last second, you still go through it anyways. You're like, I gotta chase him. Like
I gotta go. It's funny. You see that when Ymir's get later in the games with the wall, you'll sit there in front of the wall. And, all right, it's gonna come down. I'm still here. I'm not gonna retreat. 4 seconds later, I'm still standing here waiting for this wall.
I just really wish that I wasn't here anymore, guys.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, young Omega is standing in position and ready to be interviewed. So let's toss it over to Fats. Fats, take it away. Tell us what Ryan has to say.
All right, guys. I'm over here with Eager Omega himself after that amazing comeback after that giant team fight. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened there?
Pretty much DJ stayed a little bit too long. He was too low HP. We picked him off early in the fight, and then they just tunnel visioned on the Phoenix for whatever reason, and we just took advantage of their mistake and capitalized on it.
All right, so good choice not following Aror back there. I mean, his 35 damage, as the cast has pointed out on the Titan, wasn't going to be enough to stop all of you from rushing in there and making that giant comeback. So what's your thoughts going into Game 3?
We're pretty confident. We're trying to deal with the server lag right now. It kind of got in our heads Game 1, obviously, because we surrendered. But, Game 3, we're going to come in strong. We don't care about the lag. We're just going to destroy them. That's
good news. That's good news coming out of the new solo laner for Eager itself, Mr. Omega. I'm glad to see you guys make that comeback and bring this to Game 3. Ladies and gentlemen, be ready because the cast is going to bring you right in. Let's do this.
Yeah, get back to your station.
Go sit down,
Omega.
Omega.